All right, it's 5:30. We can call our meeting to order. So you and I are a quorum.
Yes, I'll make a motion to call.
Order? Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, officers report. So we got the secretary's report on here. Did you get a chance to read it?
I did.
Okay.
I approve it.
You approve it? Nothing? No changes?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, do you need me to sign it, or what do we need to do?
Yeah, you can sign it. It's fine.
Just sign it out of here if you want to keep my packet together. And then, when we organize, we will. Yay, that's done. Treasurer's report, can you help us with that, Tiffany?
Mm-hmm. For September, the total assets and liabilities is $32,358.91. There was a year-to-date deficit of $4,703. Grounds maintenance is over budget, $1,324.
Is it?
And that's due to the sign repairs.
Okay.
Utilities is under budget, $223.92. And management administrative is over budget, $2,325 due to the legal expense from the tree issues and CPA services.
Okay. Any questions on that, Wendy?
Nope.
So that. President's report. Let me put this over here first before I get lost. And get my report out from my computer because I forgot my paper. All right, so I just wanted to report, I normally don't, I'll let you guys do it all, from the storm damage. My husband, Jack, and Ariel cleaned up some of the big branches that fell around the lake. There was one of them that fell from the tree, and it's that tree that's by the lake, by the park, that, whatever, they called and complained about it, so we'll just go take care of it. So they cleaned up a bunch of branches. Then the front park up on Madeline was really, really bad, a lot of branches down, a lot of stuff. I found a woman that would clean it up. She did an awesome job. And she charged $357. It was $300 to clean it up, $57 for the bags and stuff that she had to use. And everything's picked up except for the bags are still there. Hopefully the city's going to come get them. So the park, I think the park looks much better than it does even when our lawn crew does it. So it's really nice. I hired SB Tree Service. They're going to be coming out tomorrow. They are going to cut down an elm tree that was uprooted during the storm and the top of it broke off. And then there's some other stuff that's around there, and there's another tree that came down in the swale. So they're going to take care of that, and it's going to be $7,100 for that. She just walked out the door. We were going to address the willow tree that's in the park. Her husband's an engineer. They decided they would like to help pull it up. So I think if we got volunteers to do that, we're good. We don't have to do anything. We can just have them do it. There's a tree on the sidewalk near on Country Manor in Gaveston. It's just a big log or whatever. It's straight. It's more to the side of the sidewalk. I talked to my husband. He said when he gets time, he'll get down there, clean it up, try to cut it up. I'm not sure when that's going to be, but it's not really bothering anybody right now. The sign at Saul's was blown down, so I have it leaning up against a tree. If you're pulling in, it's on the right side. My husband said he's going to look to see what it's going to cost to get the 4x4s to put it on. We're going to have to dig up the concretes down there and then put more concrete in there to put the post in. So that's going to take a while to do. In the meantime, I'm just going to let it sit there. It's still up. It's not laying exactly, but that's what it looks like is going to happen for that, unless somebody has any other ideas. And then on Country Walk, there was a street light that came down. It's still laying there. There's a house for sale right there on one bend. It's laying there. They said it could take up to 40 days before they come. and do the light. So that's it. I'm sorry, again, your name was?
Kate Farrell.
Farrell. Kate Farrell and her husband would like to take care of the tree in the park, to see if her husband has an idea to ratchet it up with some pulleys and stuff to see if it could survive. And I think we should allow that to happen. If you can find any other neighbors to help you.
Just using tools, it won't be a problem, and we'll check back every weekend too, so
Okay.
that as soon as we can take that stuff down, we'll do that
Okay.
also.
As long as it has to stay, that's fine. I think we're good with that.
And it's okay to go about a foot to 2 feet down and walk in anything. right?
Ariel, you know about what's over there. You dug the tree up.
Shouldn't be anything in there.
Okay, just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, because any electrical is on the other side of the sidewalk, on the east side of that sidewalk, as far as I
4
know.
feet down too, anyway.
Yeah, as far as I know, there shouldn't be.
Okay, that's good.
All right, then.
That's it? All
Yeah.
right, thank you. Well,
So you're
look
good.
forward to doing that.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
volunteering, and thank you for coming for that. That was
All right.
awesome.
Thank you.
That was on my schedule to do.
Oh,
Thank you. Farrell,
Great.
so we got that?
Mhm.
Farrell, okay. So that is the president's report. And then we go on to Tiffany's report.
Basic stuff. Monthly board packet was completed. Draft minutes from the budget meeting. ARB applications were sent to owners. Processed and approved invoices. Financial summary was completed. Delinquent accounts were reviewed. I've completed the property visit on 10/29, and the approved budget was processed, and the coupon mailing is being prepared.
Okay. We already know that. And now we need to organize our board. So to do that, I nominate Ariel as a board member. And how do I do that? I just nominate him. Do you accept that nomination or that appointment?
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
if you want additional one, yeah, sure, I don't mind.
okay.
Thank you.
Because Barb's son they're transferring him hopefully within the last week to Orlando for a pulmonologist to stay in the hospital there. He's not cooperating well. She's having a hard time, so I just don't want to add anything to her. She just can't do it. All right, so then we need to organize the board. So because there's only 3 of us then, would you like a board packet? Jump right in, pass it down. Because there's only 3 of us, we do need to have 3 positions that are, you need 3 positions. So, do we need to nominate them, or can we just appoint them? How can we do that?
We need a president, a treasurer, and a secretary.
Okay, we just need the name.
I just want to be clear, I still gonna do my newsletter and
Yeah.
website and video.
I have no problem with that.
All right.
Do you have a problem with that?
I don't have a problem with that. I think it's great that you get information out.
Okay. So, and that being said, financially, would you accept the title of treasurer? Would you accept the title of secretary?
Okay.
Or you could be
Yes.
president?
No.
Okay.
All you really have to do is sign the minutes.
Okay. And then I'll do the president
Do the president
thing.
thing.
What is your name?
Wendy.
Wendy, I wasn't sure.
All right. So now we are all board ready?
Yes.
Are we good? What do we need to do?
Have you done your FinCEN stuff yet for the Corporate
I sent it
Transparency
to
Act?
you. I
Okay.
sent it to you.
Okay.
Did you not get it?
Did you do yours?
I was gonna ask about that.
You should have got a link, an
Okay.
email with a link that you have to click on. Yes.
Because I did the certification.
Yeah, you have to do the FIN thing. It's for
Okay.
the Corporate Transparency Act, and then you'll get one too.
Okay.
Once I get you in there, you'll get one, because we have to file that by December 31st.
Okay.
So, do I need to do that before?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
So I did it, I sent it to you, go to my dash. but I don't know, or I did it and I signed it. It said
And you
completed
registered
it.
and everything?
Well, I did it and then it said done.
Okay, then I don't need to see it. They take it from there,
Okay.
so.
Okay, so I don't know where it went from there.
Yeah, me either, but somebody will do it.
Okay, all right. So I did do that. And then I had my class already.
Okay.
I
And
took
then
it,
did you-
that's why I wasn't sure if it was one and the same.
No,
because
it's
of
two different
class.
things. You will need to do the 4 hours of continuing education, but you'll get emails with classes,
Okay,
online classes, and they're free, so.
okay. Thank
All
you.
right. So other than that, we're set?
Yes.
Oh, yay, we're moving right along. No architectural reviews this time.
Did you get requests from Madeline Trellis about her garage door?
I think we gave it to her last month.
That was last month,
That was
yeah.
last month.
Yeah,
She
we,
hasn't gotten anything.
I sent
She
it,
thought she was on my cul-de-sac.
I sent it back to her. I'll check. I know I sent
I
it to her.
talked to her 2 days ago.
It was approved and it should have been, they need to send the letters that they're done, or that they have been approved, so.
Yeah, I sent it on 10/7.
She
She's
said
been
it's-
inquiring for the past couple of weeks and wasn't getting any answers to her emails or,
I show that I responded to her on 10/7 and sent it to her, so I'll send it to her again.
so it's because the
It was
contractor
approved.
won't even order the materials.
It
till
was
he knows
approved.
The
Yeah.
ARB, it's one of the reasons why I'm here tonight, to inquire what happened.
It was approved, and it was also approved with 34, 33's roof.
Yeah, that's done already,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, all right. Unfinished business, violations, arrears, and NOLAs. I see we're still getting, quite high on some of those arrears.
Yes.
So the one that says cost deposit for foreclosure, what does that mean?
Yep, so the association has to pay the cost deposit to move forward with the foreclosure with the intent to foreclose. So that's been paid. And then, and then the attorney's going to file the intent to foreclose.
Okay,
And then the second one was turned over to the attorney.
okay, and now, what does all that entail? The garage door was replaced,
Mm-hmm.
but that was what the fines, a lot of fines were on
Mhm.
that one. So I don't know, what do we do with that?
She still has to pay the
Okay.
fines, yeah.
Okay. And I don't know what else.
The fines don't go away just because she
Yeah.
fixed it. I
Is
mean-
is this dues too, right?
Mhm.
Where the dues aren't not being paid?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And so that's turned over to the attorney and then,
Mm-hmm.
so,
The third one had an intent to lien filed on September 12th. That has to go 60 days before they can go forward on both of those.
okay, and then, so the one that was in October, the NOLA, okay,
Mhm.
NOLA. All the rest of them are NOLAs, but they've been a while, so we can't get them to, how do we tell them they still owe? I mean, I know it's on their account.
They're getting monthly reminder notices.
They are?
Yes.
Okay. But they're not, so they pay something and that's why we can't do
Mhm.
anything else?
Yeah, it looks like some things, and the NOLA was probably old. Like, let's see,
They are,
let's
there's
look
one in
at.
February of 23, there's one in September of 22, there's one in July of 22, a couple
So,
more in October of 23.
so this one, everything that's in this, so the 020079, they're now at a zero balance, they just paid.
This one's now a zero balance.
Mhm, it's at a zero balance. They paid on 11/1. Let's see. Zero one zero zero 36. They just have the fourth quarter dues and then special assessment outstanding, plus late fees.
Okay, so people are paying a little bit on it. Those are the 2023s, there's a
Mhm.
couple other in another one in 23 and some in 22.
So I got both of the 2023s and then,
See down here, there's a 22, 23,
Yeah.
and 22.
so that 23, they've probably paid everything except for, let's see. Yeah, so they've paid everything except for the late fees. That's the only thing outstanding on theirs.
Okay, so
And they're still getting monthly reminder
did they get
notices,
reminders
so-
that they owe the late fees?
Yep.
And then the last, there's, which one, let's see, 20081, that was in 2022, and then 20076 is in 22 too.
Yeah, so what's happening with that account, the 020081, is they're just paying a quarter behind. So they're paid up until the fourth quarter. They just haven't paid the fourth quarter. So that's what's happening is they're paying a quarter behind.
Okay, but then they're getting late fees on the one that they,
Yep, so they're getting late fees and interest fees, and they get monthly reminder notices. They were
Okay.
sent a reminder notice on 10/15, it looks like.
and then that other one, the 76, because that's a 2022 as well.
Oh. That's just a late fee. That's outstanding. That's just a $25 late fee.
So on the back to the one that's cost, the first one, how long do we have till we realize something happens to it?
So
that we paid?
once they file the intent to foreclose, they have 45 days to either pay or then we move forward.
Okay. And when they pay our legal costs
Mhm.
too, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, that's all added to their ledger card. So, yeah, you can see they had 1,050 of legal fees on their ledger card.
All right, so I didn't really go through these because of the hurricane stuff, but if you want to take off of this one, the garage door that it was cured.
Yeah, I
And then
think
the-
that one, I did take all the garage door stuff off of that one. The only thing that's outstanding on that is the
moss.
the house
Yeah.
exterior.
Yep, okay. And then, so, next month we'll look at it, so it looks like there's a lot of them that have still,
Mhm.
2 or 3 or 4 times that you've asked them to do something and they
Yeah.
haven't responded, so.
Yeah, and it was a little difficult just because of all the debris piled up and stuff to see like, what's going on and.
Yeah. So in that, we're pretty good. Now, so that takes care of the any questions on the violations, NOLAs or arrears? You guys? No? Okay. New business. The fining procedure, can you go ahead and start working on that?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm working with an attorney to develop a process, and it's pretty much going to be the same across the board because there's a process that has to be followed with state statutes. So pretty much, once I send the third letter, then I have to bring a list to the board meeting, and say, okay, these ones are ready to go to the fining committee, and the board has to motion to send those to the fining committee. And then we send the fining committee meeting letters. And then,
So everything we have already had in place still exists,
Mhm.
except for that part about bringing them, and then we vote on it.
Yep.
And then, okay.
And then we send that letter, and then once the fining committee meets, then it has to come back to the board to put it in minutes and make a motion as to what the fine is going to be.
Okay.
And we'll follow the fine schedule that we have.
That's, okay.
Yeah, so it's the same for everyone, because we can't say, oh,
Can
you're
you-
gonna pay 15, you're gonna pay 25.
I have that someplace. Can you send that to me again?
Yeah, I'll find it.
I got lost. I got so
Yeah,
many emails in there.
so we will get that put into writing, and then the board will vote on to put that procedure in place and sign it.
Okay. All right. Any questions on that? Questions on the fining process? Questions on the fining process? No? Okay. Well, we're moving right along. Carolyn?
Actually, I'm sorry, I do have a question.
Okay.
Since-
Yeah.
Since you give me the title of treasurer.
Yes.
So, and, the attorney, so is this a procedure that's being done for all of your associations, and this attorney's just doing it for everybody?
Yeah.
Or is this an attorney specifically for us, and we're picking a
No, you're not picking up the charge for it. Because there's so many statute changes, Century has we're working in general with an attorney to help us navigate these new statutes and what needs to be put in place for our association, so.
Good. Oh. Do you have any news on the Neighborhood Watch?
A little bit,
Okay.
but I'm also going to update you on some roofing issues too.
Okay.
The Neighborhood Watch is improving. I put a no solicitation sign on my door and my problem stopped.
Good.
We are all aware, though, we're watching for people on foot, and we will now institute calling the non-emergency 911 if we see a continuance of someone. Now, I did have a personal issue, but I didn't see it happen. I had my mailbox blow down, and while I was getting the new wood cut and cement in the hole and all, I propped my mailbox on the step stool so that the mailman could still deliver my mail. We think it's the guy who collects the metal trash. He stole my step ladder. And my mailbox was bungee corded. It wasn't like
It wasn't like it was just there for somebody to pick
No,
up, yeah.
It wasn't mistaken for trash. Now, we looked at our ring, we didn't catch it, unfortunately. So I can't accuse what, I think I know who it was, but I have no proof. So although I personally have not seen much, it's still going on, and our cul-de-sac is continuing to be vigilant. We'll catch these guys eventually. But to think that they took the mailbox off a step ladder was just, okay. We talked about metal roofs versus shingles, and I've been doing some research. I think it's gonna help the whole community in the future.
Did you say barrel roofs or metal roofs?
Metal roofs.
Okay.
Versus shingle roofing. And I think it's gonna help the HOA later on down the line when things start happening. I interviewed two roofers, A1A Roofing and Up and Over. They're two roofers that are, well known in the area. And both of them said personally they would put metal roof over shingles. And I said, okay, tell me why. And for shingle roofs are supposed to have a 30-year life. That's what we were told when we put our shingle roofs on. However, insurance companies are saying between 10 and 15 they want you to replace it. On the other side, the metal roofs are touted as lifetime, but essentially the insurance companies are saying after 20 years. So you're gaining about 5 years with a metal roof, which at my age, that's like my lifetime. I'm 81 years old. How much longer can I pay for roofs? So I want this roof to be my last one when I'm done. And so do a lot of other people who are about my age. So then I talked to the insurance agencies. I'm a retired insurance agent, no longer practicing with an active license, but I have a lot of friends in the business who will share information with me. So it came from insurance. It's not hearsay. And they are saying that you will get a lesser, you'll get a discount if you put on a new roof. And the discount for the metal roof is better than one for the shingles because of the longevity. And the continuous time that it takes now to get permits becomes another issue. There are some places, and I don't know if it's Port Orange, that I haven't gone there to ask this question yet, but some town areas are forgoing the permitting process so people could get things repaired quickly. Has anyone heard if we're requiring permits in our area?
At one point I heard permits were being waived, but I'm not sure for how long.
Right.
I don't know for what
Okay,
they're waiving them for.
here's the problem.
Do you know?
After the hurricane came through, what was on the city's website was that the permit fees were getting waived.
Okay.
Okay.
But they said fees, and then they said, not the permits, just the fees.
I'm glad to hear that, and I'll tell you why, because the insurance companies will not sign off on a non-permitted roof, which means even if they said you put a new roof on, they renew you, they will not if you didn't get a permit, because anybody could climb up there and put new shingles on, and some people used to do that, where they wait till the roof blows off and then they have a claim. So if it's been non-permitted, the insurance companies will not pay the claim, or they will not renew you, or both. So it's really important to know. I'm glad that Port Orange is pretty on top of things. I'm glad to hear that. So that was the second issue, was the permitting. And then there's the inspection issue. If you do comply with permitting and there's strapping down regulations now, you have to have 3 nails and certain kind of strapping down. If you pass that inspection, then you'll get the wind mitigation.
Yep.
So for somebody who may slip through the cracks with a fly-by-night kind of thing that isn't done right, I don't know if homeowners ever call the Architectural Review Board and ask for your opinion about anything, but if they ever did, you now know
Yeah.
that if they want all the goodies, they have to follow the rules.
Yep.
So that's as far as I've gotten. I am looking at quotes for both shingles and metal.
Mhm.
And my feeling is, we have to get in step with the times. If metal is really going to be better, and aesthetically they're looking better, he's giving me a whole bunch of options so that I can bring them to the board to show you, long before anybody wants to put one on. But there are more aesthetically pleasing ones that we're trying to keep them with our Country Walk. Are you aware there is already a metal roof in Country Walk? In the cul-de-sac, the farthest from Saul Street, as you turn on Country Manor, that first cul-de-sac, I think it's the second house in. I'm going to visit it and take some photos.
Is that a
But
Fox
a
sign?
roofer told me, one of the roofers who works in our area said, oh, you already have a metal roof. in
Is that
Country
the one that's going down to the lake? That street there?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's.
'Cause I know there's the barrel roof, the ceramic roof.
Yeah, they said it was a metal roof, and I said, oh, I'll check it out and take a photo.
Then it's never been approved.
Well, I don't know which board was in place when it
Yeah.
happened.
Huh,
I don't think it's recent.
yeah.
But you see, that's the thing.
See, so then people put things on and sometimes it goes through and nobody knows, you know what I mean?
I
You can't
understand.
see.
I'm
Yeah.
acting as a watchdog.
Yes.
I don't want to be on the board. I did that for
Yeah.
6 to
Well,
8
that's,
years.
it's helpful.
But I'm acting as a neighborhood watchdog
Yeah.
because I know this question is going to come up. Somebody's either going to have to put on an emergency roof, or like
Yeah.
me, when the time comes, I'd like to have the choice and know that I'm not going to have to fight the HOA
Yeah.
or the ARB. Which brings us to the question, who's the ARB now?
Still the board, because we don't have
3.
anybody,
So you
yeah.
went from 5 to 3?
We went from 5 to 3 on the board and we had through, 5.
Is that considered a quorum for the number of homes we have?
Yeah.
3 is considered a quorum?
It doesn't matter for number of homes what the board quorum is.
So
We
as long
can
as you
have-
have all the officers.
You're 3, 5, or
positions-
7 members you need on the board.
As long as you have all the officers'
Yeah.
positions filled.
Mhm.
A lot has changed over the years because years ago we were all neighbors and we had more people than we needed, but lots have changed.
Yep, and now
Which
nobody wants to do it, so.
Well, which brings me to another issue. And you know my heart's in the right place, but I will bring things to your
Yeah.
attention that you may not hear about and you may not like to hear, but I walk, I've run
I know,
into you with your
yeah.
dog, you know I walk. And people know me from Milwaukee because I'm an original owner, and they'll vent to me. And here's what's been going on. My next door neighbor had one political sign on her yard for not even quite a week. And she got, I think, a letter. I think it was a letter that said, no can do. I know from my walks that Mayor Bennett had a yard full. And I know that Barbara Wellen had stuff. She even had loose debris on her curb before the storm, and we were all told to bring it in. I know she's got a sick son, but hurricane debris is totally different from someone who's ill. It's 2 different worlds. And so the neighbors complained about the loose debris. It was like a cabinet of some
Yeah.
sort. And so somebody helped her get rid of that. But the signs on her lawn and on Bennett's lawn were left alone. So I am wondering, are we dealing with selective bullying? Because that's what the homeowners feel. And that's the reason why they told me, I'm not gonna run for the board because they play favorites. You have a politician and you have a board
Well,
member who got away with it. Her house is not Country Walk color either. Her house is a seafoam green.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
And I
that
don't care
house,
who she is, I'm just saying.
I know, that house and another house that's yellow, they submitted, electronic,
Mhm,
paint stubs,
mhm.
and it didn't come the same color as what was
Or
painted.
they chose to paint it a different
Yeah.
color.
And then the other ones, it's like, if the signs, I saw Burnett sign up one day, and then I'm like.
Sign,
okay.
he had 20 of them on his front
Oh,
lawn.
I didn't see them, I saw like 3 of them one day, but then they were gone the next day. I know some people had signs, and they had them in their yard, they got a letter, 2 of my neighbors, they got letters, they said, okay, they put them in the garage, then they got another letter that they were in the garage. I said, you can't tell them, I called Tiffany, and I said, you can't tell them they can't have it in the garage. They can have whatever they want
So
in
when
the
their door
garage.
was open, you could see,
Yeah.
well, that's your own property.
Yeah, that's what I said,
And
so
this is why
there's,
I
I think it's all depends what she
I know you guys
sees.
need board help, but
Yeah.
you're never gonna get it with this kind of situation
But-
going on.
When it comes to the violations, I'm not throwing her under the bus, but Tiffany's the one who drives through and sees a lot of the violations. And sends the letters out. And that's on purpose, that saves us as board members for having that. That like, oh, that neighbor got away with it and this neighbor didn't.
But it
That's-
happened.
I understand it's
And
happened,
I
but she
know.
can only see so much when she goes through.
That's not no. Mayor Bennett had, I'm telling you, 20 of those signs on his lawn. It was a striking, you live on the block, do you remember seeing it? Did you see Bennett have one of his signs out on there? You're just down the street from him. And then I know.
You also have to remember that I'm only there once a month. So if that stuff's not up on the day that I'm there, then I have no way of knowing that it's there.
None of it washes with me, I'm sorry. Bennett signs were there all through the month of the election,
I don't remember seeing
Yeah,
them when I was
maybe.
there.
No, I know, but I'm saying if you had seen it, would you confront the mayor?
I would have
you
sent a
confront
letter.
a board member?
I don't know where any of the board members live for a reason. I don't choose to know where anyone lives, so that I don't get blamed for selective enforcement. And yes, anyone who, I do see violations, because that's my license on the line. That's my state license.
Yes.
So I send letters. I don't pick and choose. So I don't know where the mayor lives. I don't know who he is.
It would be interesting
He
to see
absolutely
if
would get a
Barbara
letter.
or Mayor Bennett got a letter.
I don't know that they have, because like I said, I don't remember seeing a whole bunch of signs in a yard.
So it's not my fight, but it's my reason for coming to let you know, there was talk in the neighborhood before the election, people didn't even want to vote. They're up to here with all of these issues. You ask a question, you get an answer that just doesn't hold any water. It's the reason why I'm doing the research on the roof. Because you remember one of the meetings, I brought it up and you said, we don't know. We've not had to deal with it. Well, you're going to have to deal with it, and what are you going to tell a homeowner when they know full well it's their choice, it's their home, it's better for the neighborhood, safer than shingles flying off, it's going to save them more money on their insurance, it's going to last longer. How can you say no?
Yep. I know, but there's so many different options with the metal roofs, we have to decide
True.
what ones we're gonna allow
And
and
I'm
which
going
ones
to
we're
bring you
not going
samples.
to.
I
Yeah.
have, like I said, I have the roofer, he's
Yeah.
dropped off too. I'm not pleased with the choices just yet. When I find a choice that I think
Because
would
it
work.
has to be, I mean, if you look at it, it says or other composites, which metal is, but it also has to be what we want to consider aesthetically pleasing for the neighborhood.
Gotcha, yes.
So
Well,
that's.
that's why Country Walk still looks lovely after
Yes.
35 years.
Mhm.
Some of the neighborhoods have deteriorated, even with an HOA, because people let things slip.
Yeah,
But the issue is, from one board to the next, decisions change depending on who's on the board and who's thinking forward and who's sticking with the old way. And frankly, even with our home colors, there's going to come a point where homeowners want to get step with the times, because someone young contemporary might come into Country Walk and say, oh, your houses are the same color, either gray or beige, you know,
Yeah.
I want a different color, seafoam green or a pretty blue or whatever. Well, if it's not allowed and they can't get it passed, it's going to be an issue. So for the sake of, I consider myself the watchdog, I have been appointed by the cul-de-sac to do that. And when I take my walk, I keep my eyes and ears open. You're doing a pretty good job with the pole lights. I see that. That used to be the bane of my existence when I was president. Oh, I'm too old, I can't reach it, I have to buy the bulb, I don't have anybody to get me the ladder. I used to hear all of that. So anyway, if you would keep an open mind to what I'm saying to you about potential bullying, because that's what they think it is.
yeah. Well, please tell them the letter does not come from the board. It
Correct.
comes from
Correct.
management
Well,
company.
that's a good point, I
And
didn't know.
that's, you know, And as Tiffany said, if it's not there, she doesn't see it, he may have put it up the day after she went through. And nobody knows, we don't even know when Tiffany's going through. We don't know when she's coming. She has the
I'd like
home
to knock
pictures.
on his door, because he was the mayor, so
Yeah.
I know that he thinks he's above the law.
Yeah,
But it wasn't one or two. I guess he had collected all of his signs from everywhere, and he stuck them in his lawn.
yeah,
And I drove past there, and I go out of that maybe once or twice a day, take my grandkids to school and all, and I know I saw it for days.
yeah, I go out there every day, that direction every day I go out. And
I saw
I
it for
remember
days.
seeing one day like 2 or 3 signs, but then they were gone.
I don't know how you guys couldn't have seen them. Honestly, I don't, because I almost hit a tree when I got to that house and thought, what
I
is he
have
doing?
noticed a trailer there though, but,
Yeah, well, so that's what I'm saying, and
So-
I won't be lingering because I know you all want to go home and have dinner, but the feeling in the neighborhood, particularly in our cul-de-sac, is not friendly towards the board.
well, tell them, we don't want that feeling. We'd like to work with them on that, but the letters that come out are not from the board,
Okay,
okay?
good information, I will share, thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry to throw you under the bus, but that's your job.
It is, absolutely.
But, all right, so,
Just to throw another option.
okay,
It could be, letters are being sent out and received by people that have signs or violations or whatever, but
They're not
different
responding.
people choose to take out the sign at different times.
Yeah.
So somebody gets the letter and they pull out right away, another person gets the letter, and maybe they're like, oh, I'll get it on the weekend.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And, oh,
Anybody,
by the way,
any-
I did, it's on the thing about the waivers,
okay.
it's on the city website.
Does it have a date that they're waived, the fees are waived
So,
for?
They waive the fee, so it says permits are still required, though fees may be waived, and you would have to fill out a waiver form. And they waived it via an executive order, executive order number 7, Hurricane Milton 2024. And all it says is that shall become effective immediately and shall expire at the conclusion of the declaration of emergency as may be extended.
That's a definite,
So
yeah.
I don't, but that's,
Yeah.
so but it is just a fee.
Oh, just real quick, I guess. The FEMA trucks have come through and picked up everything. They're supposed to make more than one pass, so if there's still debris that needs to be put out, that they should be back and pick it up. We're gonna have that issue when they bring the tree down tomorrow, and they said they would put it out front or out on Sol's, and they should be picking it up. Again, the debris, and hopefully.
Did they do the cul-de-sacs also?
Yes, they
Oh,
did
good.
them.
I
I think they
Port
did on
Orange has
Saturday.
been
Saturday and Sunday.
beautifully.
Yeah.
There was a couple of huge trees that went down on Country Manor. I mean, it filled the entire apron for a whole block because and they picked it up, I think, yesterday. And they've been really good with our debris. They usually
good.
are.
They
Port
are.
Orange, our area, Country Walk gets treated really well
And
by
I-
the city.
Well, like, there's been some branches that have been down before the storm, and my husband's gone and cut them up. Ariel's helped with a few. And I just called Waste Pro and said, hey, I got something on this street. They come and they pick it up, no questions asked. And it's like on the corner, it's on Country Manor, not near a house,
Yeah.
and they've been picking them up, so.
I'd like to ask if Ariel could put some sort of a thank you in our community letter. I'm really kind to the garbage men,
Yes.
that's what you call it, really sanitation workers.
When I'm there, I give them water. I say, come to the garage.
I treat them with ultimate
Yeah.
kindness because
Yeah.
those people work
They
really
do.
hard. The one fella was sent over from Tampa, and so, he's displaced and working hard and all. And they really are kind and they're decent guys. And I mean, sometimes they'll see me working in the yard, they'll bring the garbage can right up to the garage
Yeah.
because they see I'm old and I'm busy. So I think they're really, really wonderful, and I think it would be nice for the community to appreciate them
Yep.
at Christmas time or whenever the spirit moves you. Because at a time like this, they're
You
our
need 'em.
salvation, otherwise we're gonna be living with
Yeah.
that trash forever,
Yeah, and then I'm hoping if they don't pick it up, the FEMA trucks on the next round, the ones out on the corner of Madeline and our entrance,
Yeah,
that Waste Pro will come pick them up,
Yeah.
I'm hoping, so.
yeah, I see
And there's
that still
another,
here.
when you're pulling out on Country Walk and Madeline to the right, there was another branch down, And a while ago, the city, one came down, the city took care of it, and then this one they just took care of too, but they left the piles there
Those
still.
were old big trees that came down there.
Yeah.
I mean, they needed the claw to
Yeah.
do all of that.
I still have, there is one on the center island going out, there's a branch on top that broke down that I have not figured out what we're gonna do with yet. And also, people are still driving on the island. Yesterday, Jack and I went up and fixed one of the lights, it was knocked over, just the bulb was showing, we put it back together. He went up again later and tightened it all up. I was gonna order a mushroom light for the one up closer to the Madeline end of the island. I put it in my Amazon cart and it was $55 and I forgot to order it. I went back the next day to order it, it went up to $67, so I haven't ordered it yet.
You know, that's an ongoing problem for 30 years, and it can't be the same person, because the one who used to do it probably isn't even around anymore.
But there's people that, I know Bruce Huckins, he puts a string across his driveway, because he says the UPS and the FedEx and the Amazon, they turn around down there and they turn in his driveway, so that's why he puts that string up in his
They
driveway.
got your sprinkler heads and everything else.
Yeah.
The only other thing you might be able to do, aesthetically, it's not as pretty, but put one of those low little fences to protect the lighting, because the lighting is lovely, but
It's
they keep
expensive.
whacking it.
Yeah. Question on that bill for the lawn, did you get a hold of them? Remember?
I reached out to,
It was Jennifer, I think, or something like that.
I reached out to our account manager and he hasn't gotten back to me yet, but it is on my calendar to follow up, so
Okay.
I will continue to follow up on it.
I don't know why we got that bill from them. It was just not right. So other than that, any other information on the owners forum? Oh, I got executive meeting, we're not having that on there. Then I forgot to take off, sorry. Other than that, all right.
Just an aside, you know the school got flooded this time,
Yeah,
and I have a feeling it's because of
that
that,
development,
the subdivision behind it. That was a drainage basin.
yep.
So now the school has got a situation they never had before. And I'm wondering how that many homes and all that
So-
has to be displaced.
Okay, before you got here, there was that Fifth Street, which runs, it faces the school, and it used to face
Yes.
the woods, no homes on that side, but all the water ran down, and those people came to the meeting, and they were concerned, what are you gonna do for us, because the water came to their door. Next time, if we get more rain, it's gonna be into their, you know.
Well, it's encroaching the Saul's entrance. You know that Bryan Cave went underwater again. And we're on the last cul-de-sac, and it started coming up our street.
Yeah.
We're a little higher, but never ever seen floodwaters before. And now it's encroaching. It's only gonna get worse.
Well, I've been discussing with some people about possibly, dredging the lake. I know a few people on the swell that's between Country Walk and Fox Hunt have been complaining about that swell. And to get the sediment out of those swells to help drainage in the lake and the swell, they say it's toxic. Somebody said you can take it out, dry it up, and then they can take it away. But where are we to take the sludge out of the lake and leave it in the park to dry up? I don't know. Where do we want to do that? And there's doing some research. There's some federal programs that should help with it, maybe, but I haven't really got the gist of it. But there's got to be something that's going to help us, because what happens is all those drains you see in our streets go into that lake. That lake gets a certain level, those drainage can't take any more water, so it backs up into the street.
So we need to make it deeper.
So we need to make, after 40 years, there's got to be enough sludge in the bottom of those swells and the bottom of that
Look
lake.
how shallow it looks now.
That has to come out. But that's going to be a special assessment. It's going to cost us a lot of money. And I don't know how we're going to get that done.
Well, you need some kind of communication to the people. Do you want to flood your house and have to rip up your drywall? I know that Steve Brunton, now he lives in the middle of Country Manor, around the corner from, the Saul's entrance, and the back swale backed up into his main bedroom and flooded it. He had to rip up drywall and flooring. So if that's happening to homes and that can't be prevented, reasoning would be we share the cost and fix the problem.
Yep.
if it's fixable, and the only reason why I have apprehension is because with that school situation, we've lost all that natural drainage.
We have lost that, and our lake, the swale goes out to Sauls, and then Sauls goes down to Reed.
Yes.
And so when all that backs up, it's a domino effect.
Yes.
And then just yesterday, I was out with my husband, we trimmed some bushes, and you look at those two on either side of Country Manor, those drainage things that go under the road are full. That's the city's issue. The city needs to take care of those, and they're not doing
They're
it.
full of debris?
Debris.
Because I know that neighbors, me included, are in the corner of Country Water Walk and Country Manor. There's a drainage on both sides. And before a storm, we'll go with a rake and clear it
Yeah,
out.
but this is like it goes underneath the road.
Yes.
So it's not like the drainage that goes into the lake. This is the drainage in the side of Sauls.
The
that all-
accessibility, okay.
Of that, that's
okay.
all the city.
Yeah.
It's not ours, and it's all full of debris. My husband took pictures, I don't have them with me. And I said, well, is it fix it, you know, where you click it and fix it type thing? And I think he was gonna put that on his app to see if he could get that taken care of.
Well, it's time for all of us to speak up. And if the facts are on your side, and you do it respectfully,
Mhm.
and you do it with facts, and you do it to the right people,
Yeah.
we just insist on getting answers.
But the problem is the swales in the lake are not any of the city property. It's all our property, so that is gonna fall on us to dredge that and get that taken care
But
of.
they would be the ones to fine you or penalize you when you take that sludge out and what you're gonna do with it.
I don't know if it would be the city or EPA.
Well, you know what? It would be worth a letter to EPA to say, we've got a problem. We're trying to save our homes from mold. We were told what has to be done, but what do we do with it while it's drying out? How do we go
Yeah.
about this? And maybe there might be some federal funding could help you with the cost.
Well, that's what I found. My husband and I were doing some research. There are some federal grants and things that can
Yeah.
help with it, but I haven't gotten the whole thing yet.
Yeah,
on
because
what to
writing
do
a
with it.
grant is a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
Do you or has anyone you know done?
I have written a grant many years ago.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
I mean, it's worth the bucks if you get it,
Yeah.
but it's not just a simple letter. I
No, but it's a
know.
community thing to write the grant. It's a lot.
Well, I believe in committees. You don't have enough people on your board
No.
to shoulder all of this work. My feeling is if you put out a committee call and say, this is the problem we need to talk about, we need to know if there's anybody who's written a grant, is there anybody who's got connections with the city? Put out a list of things you're looking for. Call a meeting, a committee meeting, not a board meeting, and see if the neighborhood responds. Because you need neighbor support, and you're not
Yeah.
getting it right
Yeah.
now. They wouldn't even come to the election meeting. That's how upset they are with what's been going on. So if you want to fix the climate, you've got to bring them back into the
Yeah.
decision-making process. Then maybe you'll get more people interested in running for the board, because you've got a terrible weight on your back. I empathize, and that's why I'm coming as a friend of the neighborhood to give you the heads up before
Thank you.
it's the fan, because they're pissed. They really are. And it's justified, but they don't understand the other side of it.
Yeah.
There's two sides to everything. I don't care how flat you make a pancake, it's got two sides. So,
Okay.
your side isn't the easy part.
No.
Everybody can sit in their driveway and complain, but like with this EPA thing, I had no idea. Dredging sounds like the answer.
Yeah.
But what do
no.
you do with this stuff in the meantime,
That's a
right?
problem. Yep. That's a problem.
And
Yeah.
if kids go play in that muck and get sick, what kind of liability do
Yeah,
you have?
I mean, that's why they say you can pay somebody to haul it away, so it doesn't sit there, but then you're talking a lot of money, because they gotta deposit someplace that will take toxic stuff.
Like, oh, that's another headache, because the landfills don't have enough site for that. Okay.
All right.
Well, I
So-
vented.
All right, any other, good for the forum, motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor? All right, we're done.